Hello, can anyone hear me?
Yes, can hear you well.
Okay. Hello. Right. Well, this session is being recorded, so I like to talk so that people joining know that it's actually live. So I will just broadly introduce the theme today, which is the intersection, if you like, of AI and AI modeling built on long technical progress in neural networks and other forms of modeling, and of course, crypto. Now, crypto, both of these are memes in the sense, narratives, but I don't think a lot of people have a good feeling for how the two intersect. What is it that lies at the intersection of crypto and AI? And one of the objectives today is to flesh that out a bit more. Um, I think most of us are aware of the DePIN narrative, where people are trying to harness broadly distributed GPUs to help solve AI-based um, problems of various kinds. But I don't think that's the only intersection between crypto and AI. And so we can start by putting it out there that, if you do have hundreds of thousands of GPUs sitting around doing nothing, you could in fact use a crypto DePIN network to coordinate. But I don't think that those of us who are here on this session are particularly interested in that part of the problem. And I think also that part of the problem is advanced and to some extent lies at the heart of the discussion between centralized AI and decentralized AI. I think most of us here today want to talk about decentralized AI. We want to talk about open source AI, and we want to talk about how that intersects with crypto. Um, does anybody else want to sort of give an overall introduction in terms of what we're trying to get across to our listener?
Right, I can start. So thank you so much for the introductions and for the kickoff, Gordon. So I am Dylan from Pond. What we are doing here is we are developing a crypto native AI model trained with on-chain data to support different crypto native applications, and I very much resonated with you. Um, First of all, I still think that the crypto AI is in an early stage. I assume not many people are very familiar with what crypto AI and what value propositions that crypto AI will bring to the market. And we definitely have seen, so many interesting projects coming along the way. For example, we have seen Beacon, like you mentioned, and we have seen, projects like Zero Gravity. They are doing a lot of things in this, modular AI chain and modular, AI network. So it's definitely it's quite an exciting space. I will pass on time to other speakers to introduce themselves.
Yeah, thank you very much. I represent Zero G as an investor, but also in the BD side. And so Zero Gravity Labs is tackling this whole AI meets Web3 opportunity head first. And we are focusing on making sure that AI is a public good. But in order to do that, we believe we have to give the public access and ownership to this AI. And so we are first focused on, creating these tools that will help scale AI applications so that they can do these various things on chain. AI can quite efficiently work off chain as well. So then the question comes, does it need Web3? And so we want to make the case that Web3 actually further empowers AI, and so we are building tooling to help scale it with our data availability solution, which is the fastest and the highest throughput, with our data storage, which is decentralized, and it is much cheaper than even the Web2 solutions. We also have a decentralized serving layer, which will help with inferences and especially for AI agent networks. And so we're working with many industries. I would say in the gaming, in AI, in DeFi, in DePIN, RWAs, basically every industry you can think of, they're coming to zero gravity because they want high throughput data availability, they want cheap data storage, they want these nodes and infrastructure to help scale the AI agents and AI model training and LLMs. And so, we're really trying to be the forefront of AI meets Web3, and would be happy to share more about what we're seeing in the ecosystem so far.
Vasily, do you want to introduce PowerPool?
Yep. I just going to do it. So, hello everyone. I'm Vasily. I'm head of research in PowerPool. So, and PowerPool is a DePIN network that focuses on execution transactions for AI agents and DeFi protocols. And so we are doing, I think, one business, but with like laser focus on it. We try to deliver a network that will execute transactions on chain in a robust way, also decentralized and permissionless, so it's not like several whitelisted bots. So yeah, our main business is to execute transactions according to different conditions, on-chain conditions and off-chain conditions. So basically, we can automate any kind of interactions, for example, based on off-chain triggers. And this is the point where we can supplement AI agents with some transaction execution. So yeah, we consider that AI agents are brains, like off-chain brains, and at the same time, these brains need hands on chain to to actually do transactions, buy tokens, sell tokens, do some DeFi strategies, make some cross-chain swaps and stuff. So everything that occurs on chain need to be signed by someone and executed by someone. And AI agents, in the majority of cases, this is not the business of AI agent to do all this transaction execution business. And what is also important, the reliability, MAV protection in some cases. So it's a lot of different context and stuff that need to be done properly to execute transaction in a proper way. So yeah, this is what we are doing. And on AI agents, like sector map, we are a tooling for executing transactions, and we are focusing on it. And recently we delivered, I think, our first like a case with live network with Pond. So yeah, I will elaborate much more on the IMA with all the details on it. But yeah, so thank you.
Do we have Covalent here?
How's it going?
Just fine.
My name is Jay Harrell, and I am the head of marketing at Covalent. And yeah, we are making modular data infrastructure for AI, and we're really excited about it. Love to talk about it.
But Covalent, I thought Covalent was also a general data provider with an API for just market data.
So we have done that, but the sub-brand goldrush.dev provides an API. But what we provide actually is long-term data availability through the Ethereum Wayback Machine for projects in the space, and provide that infrastructure for projects. It is also useful for AI, which is why we're doing it.
I see. So it's a training data set essentially.
Yeah, it is a training data set, and the block results producer produces not structured models, but structured training data for verifiable training. And the query node operator creates a RAG inference pipeline with the block results producer. And we've been working on that for about 4 months.
Wow, that sounds cool. We'll come back and talk about who gets paid what. But it's already obvious just from looking at who's here on this session. We've got people who are creating models. We've got people who are creating curated training data. Got people who are just doing the payments and transactions. It's going to be interesting to figure out how all this fits together.
Yeah, it will be. And I'm not sure if you've heard the term niminoid, but that's what a lot of people are starting to call generative AI. But in the future, you're going to see blockchain infrastructure, specifically decentralized infrastructure, to power niminoid or generative AI in the future. And it's going to be really interesting.
Oh, okay. Some other people, Iotex. Do we have Iotex here? Anybody? Oh, maybe not. How about GaiaNet?
Hello, hello. Thank you for having me. Yeah, today I'm presenting GaiaNet. GaiaNet is decentralizing AI interfacing and building a distributed and incentivized generative AI agent network. Like to give probably a few more ground to your example, I think there are mostly two major use cases currently for GaiaNet. First one is commercializing like personally created LM models. Let's say one of our biggest partnership right now is partnership with Berkeley University. So GaiaNet is Berkeley is going to use GaiaNet integrate into their computer science courses. And for personal usage, GaiaNet node can be established just within a few minutes. So basically, every person can keep their own data private while using it as this personal assistant. And at the same time, there is a marketplace. So basically, every model creator will be able to sell and users to buy other models for personal usage. Yeah, in a few words, I think that's mostly it. Excited to be here.
Well,
Thank you, guys.
well, that's exciting. So you represent the idea of local devices running open source and
Yeah.
personalized training data, um, and people actually being able to monetize that. So you are effectively fully distributed AI.
Sort of. Yeah, so yeah, that's the end goal. Right now, like the infrastructure is not so distributed as we aiming at the end, but yeah, the whole idea is so.
Well, as you know, PowerPool runs the Power Agent sort of generalized automation and compute services network. So one of the things we're about is recruiting keepers on all major EVM chains. Most of those keepers are home solo staker types. And one of the questions that they ask is, my staking earnings are just going to go down. And as more and more transactions are automated, my automation fees earnings are going to go up. But can I also run on modest home hardware and bandwidth? Can I also host AI modeling?
Do you mean are you
Yeah,
asking if users
yeah.
can host AI
Yeah. I
modeling?
mean, it's. I think it's a good place to start, which is okay. So fully distributed AI. What does it take to run a node?
Since it's like it can be based even on mobile phone, so it is like it doesn't require a lot of power, so like it's like super
Okay.
primitive.
So if I'm an Ethereum home or solo staker running a full Ethereum node, I have what it takes.
Yeah, but also there is no like incentivization program, like major incentivization program right now because GaiaNet doesn't have a token yet, and therefore it means that there is like right now the users are mostly doing it for their either personal use cases and again for commercializing in future marketplace.
Well, the Power Agent just organizes all the nodes and are paid in native tokens. So, the reason I'm asking these questions is because, as everybody knows, there's a huge debate about the viability of home solo staking and about
Yeah.
Ethereum issuance policy. Our perspective is don't solve the problem with staking yield alone. Let home and solo stakers build a stack that earns money at every stage. So we have a system to randomly allocate in a highly trustworthy way things to relatively powerful and large geographically distributed nodes. It's just a question of putting together the right package so that the average guy can generate some money.
Got it, got it. Yeah, I understand. That makes sense. I think that's not as a first priority right now for us, but yeah, obviously it's going to be important.
Okay, so just checking. So did we hear from OG Labs?
Yes, we did. Zero
Okay.
gravity.
All right. So the only people we haven't heard from is Iotex. Are they there? Are they around?
Yes, I'm here. I
Oh.
was trying to get my microphone set up on my laptop, but I'm here now. Thank you for hosting this space. Yeah, it can definitely provide, I'd say, more of the deepen angle than AI, given that we are a deepen focused layer one blockchain we've been building since 2018, back when the narrative and the focus was kind of on IoT devices and their data being on blockchains. Now it's kind of like more of the deepen idea of how do we create a whole token economy of which real world assets and devices and their data are an important part, kind of on the supply side, but also how do we get a two-sided token economy working, a marketplace working where there's demand as well that's flowing into the system and accruing value to the incentive token. So yeah, we're just laser focused on building out kind of different parts of the infrastructure stack for deepen builders. We've got an accelerator. We've got some kind of free public goods as well that just help to accelerate the kind of go-to-market time for a new deepen project that's launching, given how much more difficult it is to launch a deepen project than say like a DeFi project, given the hardware components and the real world kind of need to get contributors to buy your hardware and set it up and deploy it kind of idea. So yeah, happy to speak on kind of all things deepen and appreciate you all hosting this space.
Well, I mean, PowerPool, we sort of shamelessly jumped on the DePIN narrative because we are technically a DePIN network. I mean, we are a distributed network of independent nodes, but rather than providing some sort of service like energy or any of the other things, we provide generalized automation and off-chain compute. So in most of the discussion of the DePIN narrative, we don't tend to get included. I mean, we don't tend to be considered DePIN, but I would argue we are DePIN. And probably also Chainlink is also DePIN. But people don't seem to recognize that.
Yeah, I think deepen as a term is relatively new and still being defined and defined by different people in different ways. But I mean, some people have even said kind of like Bitcoin and any layer one blockchain are deepens because technically they're distributed physical infrastructure, right? In terms of compute.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
No, I just want to say I tend to use the term generalized automation and compute services DePIN. Because I think that it's important to show that these things are standalone networks. They're not L1s. They're not L2s. But they are networks.
Right. Yeah, for sure.
Okay. Well, why don't we go back to Pond and maybe you can discuss what it is you actually launched with together with PowerPool at the Ethereum conference.
So yeah, actually, so for now, what we are developing, or we can say what we are training, is a AI model. So we generally feel like we have heard lots of data analytics in the market, how different people labeling different addresses on chain and then on to retrieve the inflow and outflow from those addresses and on give insights. But we feel like thinking about what happens in Web2 today, we have lots of existing machine learning frameworks and also other machine learning techniques that are mature enough to retrieve values from different data structures very efficiently. And but nobody's doing anything regarding machine learning with on-chain data. That's the part we feel like we want to do it by ourselves, because on one hand, in this entire Web2 landscape, all the data, they are actually stored in private enterprise database, mostly, not all of them. Second is, it's very hard for them to monetize. That's the reason why we have Hugging Face. The reason why we have a Hugging Face is because all the AI models that have been trained in Web2, mostly they are not very monetizable. So that's the reason why they need the platform to get the traffic, and they have no they have nothing to lose by deploying or launching their models to any platform anyway, because it increase the exposure and to make the model, the monetizable model, unmonetizable model, more monetizable in some ways. Um, but when we think about blockchain on-chain data, actually is first of all it's permissionless, and second is it's very monetizable because at the end of the day it's money itself. It's kind of like the banking data, but it's just like first of all it's transparent. And second is it has other features other than transfer. It has trading. It has other stuff. It has social. Um, that's why what we are taking in is we are training a machine learning model, specifically a graph model, since the on-chain data is a type of graphical data. It has nodes, it has edges, and what our model does actually is just trained with with the graphical data on chain to learn what happened in the past, what kind of behaviors in the past result in what consequences, and later on, based on any specific moments of the behaviors, we run prediction to say, oh, what happened in the past is from this behavior XYZ happened, and later on from the other trace of this behavior on chain, then it can result in maybe XYZ. Let's say. So that's on a high level what we are doing. Is literally we are training an AI model with on-chain data. Yeah.
Well,
So yeah.
well,
Sorry. Go
I
ahead.
think, yeah, well, PowerPool, we've been in DeFi for a long time, and we launched vaults and we launched diversified baskets, and we've done all those things. And it became clear to us that all the manual work involved in DeFi was going to have to be eliminated as things simply got more and more complicated. So, in the old days, there were just a few vaults and just a few chains and just a few layers, and it was kind of simple to do everything manually. But now, of course, it isn't, and in future it'll be impossible because you'll be player versus player against AI. And so we're fully embracing a future where 40%, 50% of all online transactions are going to be automated, and obviously we want to be the network doing it. But it's pretty logical. Once you put all the relevant data to a financial decision online, it's pretty obvious that you want to deploy the best analytical tools on that data. And sounds like what you're doing by using the latest AI to supplement, what in the old days would have been partial differential equations and control theory, but now it's AI.
Yeah, I think you understand it very well, and especially what I feel like why PowerPool is so relevant to us because on one hand, the model we are developing is quite generalized. So what we want to achieve is really to develop a generalized model that can be used as a foundation model of crypto. You can fine tune or build other models on top of it, like how in Web2 different people are using GPT to develop different kinds of applications or train different models on top of it. And also it can be widely used in DeFi because compared with other quantitative approach, so the good thing about a graph model is because it treats values directly from wallets, and it make predictions from that. And compared with other quantitative models, on one hand, is they don't normally carry the information, or they don't carry too much of the behavioral information from the wallets, because pretty much all the on-chain stuff, they are actually just kind of like interactions of wallets and contracts. At the end of the day, if you are tracking other quantitative methods, at the end of the day, you will have information loss in some ways because you are tracking consequences rather than causes. But what we are doing is we will train this model from the behavioral side, from all the characteristics and properties of different wallets, and also clusters of wallets. So we kind of understand like what are the causes, or sorry, what are the causes of different consequences in some ways.
Right.
So yeah, theoretically speaking, we can have higher information, lower information loss. And this is the part what I feel quite excited about PowerPool is, you are very DeFi focused, and also I think your target and also the direction is really how to find a way how to power AI agents. I think that's a very good entry point in this AI space because AI agents is an expression of AI.
Okay. Well, maybe we can ask Covalent, given that you have access to not just current, but in fact, historical data sets. What what are the kinds of values and insights that people are looking for when they use AI type processing on your data? I mean, are we talking about forensic type stuff, accounting type stuff, trading type stuff, hack alerts? What are the kind of interests that you're getting in your data?
Yeah, so in a RAG pipeline, you have a multi-agent system living on top of the query node operator. And that allows you to create predictive models for exactly as you said, for forensics, for financial reasons, for market making potentially, anything that requires some form of automation and some predictive analysis. It's actually really interesting. We're still early in the research, but we're looking into a lot of things like that, and those are the use cases that we've been thinking about. But those are more downstream use cases beyond the data infrastructure itself.
And I mean, how do you, if you like, how do you segment your data set? I mean, how do you package it up if you like?
So
If I'm looking for a really specific thing, like only, I don't know, 1L1 only and only dexes on one end, how do you partition or segment your data?
yeah, so first of all, you have to understand that all of the on-chain data is async, and across different blockchains, across Ethereum itself, there are interesting things that happen across the different validators on the network. And so you have to structure all of that data into a verifiable structured data set. And once it's in that set, you're able to actually find the information that you need. So what people are looking for, it depends on what you're looking for. If you're jump crypto, maybe you're comparing liquidity inflows for chain A and outflows for B or that sort of stuff.
But what does your transaction cycle look like? I mean, does somebody have to? Is it all manual, the process of agreeing, okay, we want this data for this period of time, for this coverage? Or can you envisage a future where you have some kind of automated billing?
Yeah, there's definitely a future for that. We're looking at another number of options. Covalent Networks started as more of an API business, but it's shifting focus beyond that. And so through goldrush.dev, you can access all of the on-chain data. There's some specific endpoints, but you can also get it bespoke if you need.
Okay. Well, obviously, Power Agent would love to be your billing agent.
One more time?
I said Power Agent would love to be your billing agent.
Oh, for sure. Well, just reach out to me.
Because I mean, our hypothesis is essentially, look, there's a lot of stuff going on here, which is really valuable, but it's either off chain or it's not fundamentally focused on making the payments, gathering the payments, and in terms of time to market, and also in some cases jurisdictional risk, it's just better to outsource that part of the whole problem to a network like Power Agent.
Yeah. So how that works is the ecosystem that will get built over time is query node operators. So you have different organizations running query node operators that provide them for the particular use case that they need for their long-term data availability, whether that's a very specific API or whether that's AI or what have you. So that's how we see that. So if that's aligned, if that sort of infrastructure is aligned with your needs, then we should look at that.
But who are these query node operators? I mean, are they
independent?
Are they?
Currently, there's only one query node operator, and that is run by Covalent. But in the future, there's going to be a lot more.
And their motivation is what?
Currently, it's token based.
So independent guys who might be like our keepers, for example. Our keepers run EVM full nodes, and they're looking to make money. How could they do that?
Exactly. So they're running the operator, they're earning tokens, and we're looking at it in the future, but potentially in the future there's a model where it gets back into the marketplace.
What gets back in the marketplace?
Tokens.
You mean covalent tokens?
Yeah, CXT specifically, that get back into the network to fund the network and the security itself.
Okay, so let me see if I got this right. So you're looking at the future to decentralizing your query nodes, and there'll be some sort of incentivization using your own token for those query nodes.
Yes, and there already is by a large part, but we want to onboard more query node operators in the future.
And what is the ideal profile for a query node serving training data to AI?
Yeah, so we're still figuring that out because that's a little bit out of scope for this year. But when it comes to AI, we're looking at bigger names, bigger companies that have big models that want to flatten their infrastructure. And I can't really talk any more on that, but we're looking into it.
Okay. Well, as I said before, we have a decentralized network on all EVM, eventually all major EVM chains and layers of hungry people who are looking to run stuff and earn money.
Can you say that one more time?
I said Power Agent is a decentralized network of people who are running, in some cases, they're even capable of running Polygon nodes and things like that. And they're all hungry. They're all looking to earn money running their nodes.
Yeah, well, it sounds like there's some alignment here. We should definitely take it offline.
I mean, someday we're going to have people running BNB chain nodes. So those are the big swingers. And somewhere in there must be some opportunities.
Yeah, absolutely.
Okay. So GaiaNet, maybe you can talk a little bit about what your next steps are, because I can imagine a lot of people are excited about running a model, but maybe they don't really know where to get training data or how to add value to their training data.
Well, the key thing is not that finding it or adding value, it's that it needs to be verifiable.
Right. Well, and maybe how does that take place? I mean, is it a ZK proof? I mean, how do you actually do that?
So the network itself proves the integrity of the data through the block specimen producer that concatenates raw blockchain data, all data, and then the block result producer that structures it and also checks the proofs, and then the query node operator that serves it downstream.
Okay. But if I was reselling results that used your data and someone asked me prove that you used covalent data, how would I do that?
At the moment, you can chat with goldrush.dev, but if it's more infrastructure, you should definitely chat with us.
Okay. So yeah, so just to switch, obviously Covalent is coming from a highly centralized starting point of just, doing your own data APIs. Let's go to the other extreme of GaiaNet and basically trying to put models on people's laptops. I mean, how do those people get content to enrich and generate valuable results?
Yeah, I think that big part of it is like a BD way. So basically, is the one what we already have with Berkeley, and our pipeline is full of similar partnerships where we are kind of finding significant use case and working on models like that in partnership with. There are also some simpler models. For example, I would say that the most usable model right now among retail users is just Vitalik Buterin model. So it's model trained on his personal speeches, blog posts, etc., and allowing users to speak with his natural style or obtain his knowledge. So I would say that variety is very, very wide. So like you can go from simple stuff like just mirroring second person to very narrow scientific knowledge, as it is with Berkeley. And speaking about plans, Gainet is a pretty young product. So basically, team was product and team was established just like around 4 months ago, and the first product release was during consensus in the end of May. So like product is just basically publicly 2 months old, and there are a lot of works that we have ahead of us. And right now, actually, one of the biggest part is implementation of actual blockchain technology, and also big work is coming on airdrop system, on points, on the best way how to implement actual token usage. I think that we're going to have massive amount of announcements for September, likely presented during Token 2049.
Well, I think that's really exciting. I had heard about the Vitalik product, and I believe that in the future, incredibly specialized and highly technical data sets will be the valuable ones. I mean, generalized, chat-based bots like we're all using right now, I think those are effectively just being given away. But the highly specialized data, patent data, stuff like that, those are real gold mines. But I think the question people would have, to just ask it in a simple way, how do I know that your model is only taking content from Vitalik?
Yeah, that's a valid question, and I think that's the problem that we will have to solve. So I don't have a proper answer with 100% solution. So it can be either like feedback based, how marketplaces are built, where users basically evaluating,
Right.
and basically it's kind of democratized process, or more centralized way where we are verifying somehow databases. So yeah, it's one of the problems to solve in the future.
And then the other question I would have for Guy and Ned has to do with, well, what do you do if people want a service that exceeds the capabilities of their hardware? In other words, I'm sitting here with my Mac and I need to search a specific realm of organic chemistry patents, and I can get the content, but the content just won't run on my Mac. What do I do?
Got it. Yeah, I think that like basically using other nodes as a computing power is a logical next step.
And I'm gonna sound like a broken record here, but Power Agent is sitting on an ever expanding number of ever increasingly powerful and money hungry nodes. So let's talk about it.
Yeah, noted. Well noted.
Okay, Iotex. I think the issue for Iotex is Iotex EVM. It's not, I assume. It's not. It's optimized for Internet of Things. Is Iotex still here? How many conferences can you do at one time? I don't know. Oh, well. Well, anyway, that would have been my question. Is he still there? I can't tell. All right. Well, let's ask OG Labs then. Is OG Labs here?
Yep, we're here. Mm-hmm.
Okay. So if I got this right, you are an L1 or an L2?
We're an L1.
But you're not you're an L1, but you're not EVM.
We are EVM compatible. Yes.
You are EVM. Oh,
yes.
Well, that's music to my ears, because obviously Power Agent, our entire network is EVM.
Great.
Do you know if Iotex is EVM or not?
I'm not sure actually. Even though I did their ICO in 2017 or 2018, whenever it was, I should know, but I don't recollect.
Back then, no one cared.
Exactly.
All right. Well, I will ask my AI whether Iotex is EVM or not. But that's okay. We've got an L1 in yours.
Mhm.
What can we do?
Yeah, I mean, so, again, I'm on the investor and BD side for Zero Gravity, so happy to facilitate technical partnership conversations with our DevRel side with you guys at PowerPool. Um, But like I mentioned in the beginning of this, we are trying to service the needs of various different applications, and we're hyper optimizing our data availability, our data storage, and the decentralized serving layer for AI applications, because to us that's the highest demand, right? And that's the highest requirements needed. And so we think by hyper optimizing our infrastructure for them, it's going to be backwards compatible for all lower demanding stuff like DeFi, DePIN, gaming and things like that. So that's why since the beginning, we focused on making sure our data availability throughput was, many multiples higher than the existing, the competition. And then we want to make sure our data storage as well is very cheap and very efficient as well. So, yeah.
Well, I was going to say there's an overlap. People like Covalent are making historical data sets a thing. If you're running an L1, there's a limit to how much history you can save.
hmm That's right. So there is, but the way we partition our data storage, like in our storage nodes, we have a data storage lane and a data publishing lane, and so only the relevant data that's required is stored in a way, and so we don't have to do the whole archival nodes that these other DA and these other storage providers do. We're able to segment this data into two lanes, and then access only the data that's required. But for further deeper technical information on that, again, I would redirect you to our tech team.
Okay. Well, Vasily, do you want to talk a little bit more about PowerPool in the context? I mean, I've already been shamelessly shilling our notes.
I think that we need to move maybe to the questions of the IMA, because we have a lot of discussions regarding the AI and we had a lot of plans. So maybe let's focus on this.
Okay, but I can't see them. Are they coming up in Twitter? Are people asking them live?
No, we had a particular IMA outline, man. But yeah.
Okay.
Anyway, so.
Well, okay. So, but the question for PowerPool, I mean, I think the first point is that we don't really compete in creating or training or anything like that with AI agents. So in a sense, PowerPool is just a facilitating agent that happens to be fully decentralized and trustworthy and so forth and so on. But I guess from our perspective, that was just our main message, which is we develop and operate generalized automation and compute services DePIN. We have a wide variety of node capabilities. We cover all major EVM chains sooner or later. And our biggest problem is recruiting more node operators. And those node operators are looking for a collective ROI. They're not just about staking native chain tokens. They're about what more they can earn from transaction fees and potentially from automating AI.
Gordon, I think that we need to focus more on how can we supplement different AI projects on the market. How can we bring value to them? Because you discussed Pond case with Dylan, and I'm really excited about that. So and I hope we will deliver more integration with Pond and allow the users who use this token trading AI, as I can say, like automatically buy and sell tokens and don't worry about how to bring all these AI decisions on chain. So, but possibly we also can supplement other projects. So this is I think our main goal, since we are like a service infrastructure protocol. We need to think about that. So and I think that possibly some payments between AI agents and some conditioned transactions between AI agents could be a really big market here, and it can solve a lot of arising demand for that. Because if, for example,
Yeah,
if there somebody developed some personal assistant in GaiaNet, and but this assistant should be paid only according to certain conditions of usage, for example, or certain conditions of results. So how to make these payments automatically, so we can make some kind of a job in PowerPool that will send tokens to the AI agent owner or to the AI agent itself in case of some conditions are met, for example. So this can be really good use case. So some other service solutions like data availability and stuff, it also can be paid by on the subscription base, for example, or on request basis, accumulating the amount of payments and then sending this amount according to proofs of usage, for example. So I think that it can be a really big infrastructure impact, and I think that this is our mission that we need to focus on. So
yeah. No, I totally agree. We had we've been building Power Agent Network for quite a while, and we had early forecasts that said that the percentage of transactions, EVM transactions, was going to be high. It was going to be in the future, maybe 40% of transactions were going to be fully automated by keeper nodes like ours. But I think AI is making us think that numbers are going to be even higher.
yep.
Okay, who haven't we heard from enough? There's no online questions at
I
all?
think Gordon, there is I think the possibly most important question for me personally is because Dylan said a really important note that the agents monetization question is crucial, and now agents protocols, they accumulate a lot of resources, all this decentralized GPU farms and stuff that try to get data for training a model, they try to get computing power to power all this training. But the question is, where are the main like opportunities for monetization? So of course the like the easiest one possibly is there is some AI like personal assistant or something like that retail user, even if like this user is not non-crypto user, will pay because this AI assistant provides some additional benefits or like additional value, like privacy, for example. In GaiaNet examples is really important because I don't want to the company behind AI assistant will know all my like intimate questions and stuff, all my personal life. It's not good at all, and we all, in the majority of cases, crypto people are fighting for privacy, at least for some of it that is fully compliant, right? So I'm not talking about Tornado Cash or something like this. So yeah, but the question is, besides this personal assistant payments, how agents protocols can efficiently monetize AI agents. I think this is the main thing, because if these protocols would just burn venture money and go and get no revenue, it will be not good. So yeah, guys, what do you think about the monetization strategy, how you can do it?
I mean, does anybody want to go into more detail on options for monetization of what you're doing? So
I can go with this one first.
okay.
Yeah, I think for GaiaNet, it's probably the most straightforward comparing to other products, since it's AI interfacing. So the main the main way how is it working right now, it is just with tokens, and I mean not I'm not referring to like cryptocurrencies, but just amount of data or information requested. So basically, users can use it first more retail friendly way is just purchasing it as a subscription, and the second, probably more like a business-oriented way, is just paying per unit of information. That's that simple.
Yeah, and I think that PowerPool, because PowerPool has an automation framework, it's fairly easy to allow people to pay in native tokens. You don't need to necessarily, the days are past when you need a token in order to monetize. An automation network like PowerPool can simply collect and forward your fee in native tokens. You don't need to worry about having your own token. And this didn't used to be true, but it's true now.
Yeah, I think so. This
Yes, it's good. It's good.
right. I think in my opinion, this is a very hard and very open question. I don't think we have a standardized answer in this industry, in this sector specifically right now, because what I feel about this market is apparently although this is a I don't know how is it 2 trillion market right now or 2 trillion market, but it's still I think the user base is not there. The utilities of different protocols of different use cases are not there. It's kind of hard to come up with a very successful business model or monetization or monetize the business model except for doing trading because lots of SaaS business in this market. The reason why they have a very good successful business model is because mostly they are just dealing with trading, no matter they are providing data or they are developing some trading tools for regions. But apart from that, in my opinion, like this is a problem we are exploring by ourselves. But from our observation is, and also that's the reason why everyone is very into infrastructure instead of applications, really because it's fairly easy to launch a token. As long as you have a token that the market will really just push you forward. And the graph doesn't maybe that they don't have a lot of users, or some other protocols they may not have as many users as other similar Web2 businesses. But I mean, just because they have the power of the market, that can give them a fairly large market cap, so they can have much flexibility in different places. So I still think in this market, because if you are doing a business, on one hand you need to have a product market fit, on the other hand is you have to adjust based on the market. So we are still in a market that we have very few users, and we have a lot of cash to deploy on the secondary market. So it seems like for now this is the only way that you have to combine tokens into some ways if you're not doing a speculation driven applications like pump.fun or Nansen, they are traditional SaaS business. They are very profitable, but they are very, very into this trading slash speculation area. Apart from this area, it's just generally hard because I think since we are all here for this AI discussion and we are all into AI and the AI in the traditional market and traditional AI space, they have a lot of traction. I can give us an example. I don't know how many of us have heard about a project called Axolab. So they are doing edge computing. One of their co-founders actually is one of the co-founders of Pump Fund, an Oxford PhD, super smart people. So they are combining a token with edge computing model inferencing network, like using your Mac, using your iPhone to inference a model to run a model locally. They have gained a significant amount of traction. But I mean, in this crypto AI landscape, we don't have many users, and I generally feel like this is the market that has literally just started for 1 year. It's still fairly new, so it's definitely a lot of things worth exploring. But for now, I would just say, from my point of view, I feel bad to say this, but it seems like the only way is trying to find a tokenomics or the token model to combine with your protocol or with your infrastructure. For the infrastructure, it's very easy to launch a token, but for application, you just need to find a very robust token model and also find a very good use case that literally people will use that. So that's how you can make sure that your business model is sustainable.
Okay. We're coming up on an hour. Maybe we could just ask each of you to summarize a little bit, just remind everyone what you're doing and how you see your next steps. So maybe Pond, you could go first.
Yes, sir. So yeah, so still we are training an AI model. So AI model can be infrastructure, it can be application. It's literally the combination of both. And we really hope that we can work with a lot of people because I generally feel like we shouldn't have this competitive mindset in this industry because first of all we don't know what the ceiling of the market is. So we really have to foster a culture that everyone would like to help everyone and with from this mutual benefits and on how we can push all the particles all together. So we are really open-minded because we are learning. We are like other people said before, like Jay said in before. A lot of things that are needed to research at the current phase of the market. So we would like to research with everyone. We would like to share our research results with everyone. Um, yeah, let's just push this forward. I will, 100% down to work with everyone here. Let's just push this crypto AI to a massive adoption. This is what we are here about. The market size is it can be infinite. We don't know what the ceiling of the market is. So yeah, let's just do something.
Okay. And Covalent?
Sorry, what was the question?
I just wanted you to summarize. I mean, we're coming up on an hour, so I thought you should just, restate what you're up to, what your next steps are, how you'd like it to turn out.
Yeah, so next steps are getting into the Olympic light clients. That's some alpha for you. And we're going to be shipping those later this year. And also working on the design for our modular data infrastructure for AI. We have a lot of the documentation and a lot of the initial ideas. We actually have some stuff published on GitHub already, and we'll have more in the future. Great with everyone.
It sounds very interesting. And OG Labs?
Yeah, thanks for the opportunity again. It was great to hear from you all. So Zero Gravity, we're going to be having a large node sale coming up, maybe next month, early September. And these are going to be what we call alignment nodes. And we want to get these into the hands of the community in as much of a decentralized way as possible. With fundraising, as you guys as founders know, that it may be easier to just go to VCs and funds and just collect capital, but now that we're doing it in a node sale fashion, we actually think the utility of these nodes makes sense that it shouldn't be in a centralized, like a few large whales holding a bunch of nodes. We actually think it should be decentralized. So we're excited to share more about that in the coming weeks. And we'd love everybody to come and participate. There may be incentives for people who are already on our testnet. Newton version 2 has been live for a couple months. So you're welcome to check it out, deploy storage nodes, DA nodes, give us any feedback. We have an active Discord channel as well, and a Telegram channel. We want to really onboard the next generation of application builders in the AI space, but also the retail. We want to make it very retail friendly, and we want to make sure AI serves you and not the other way around. And so we have around 50 to 60 projects that are already working with us that hopefully in the coming months you'll get to see exactly what they're trying to solve, and very unique things, very interesting things. And it's a very big community effort that's going on here at Zero Gravity, and we're excited to share that with you.
Well, we're certainly aligned with open source AI and full decentralization. I mean, it sounds like the synergy between us is that we're almost always in EVM node runner recruiting mode, and almost always trying to find ways to make the ROI on nodes attractive to the smaller node operators, the home solo stakers, and maybe we could collaborate a little bit on grants and incentives to grow some nodes that are both power agent keepers and OG Labs nodes at the same time.
Sounds great. I'll shoot you a DM with my Telegram, and then we can set up another call or something.
Okay, and then GaiaNet, we've already. We know that you're happy with people running stuff on their Macs, but
yeah, I remember. Yeah, we can definitely sync on it.
okay. Anything else you want to say, GaiaNet?
Just to sum up, GaiaNet will allow people starting from get some help for their chemistry homework and up to helping astronauts going to space orbit. And also the talented people who are able to train and understand AI models for very specific use cases to earn money on it. So excited about, and just keep tuned. We really have a lot of updates upcoming, really a lot.
Okay, well, next session, you can use Vitalik's voice for all your comments, okay?
Can't promise, not sure it's legal, but yeah, we can try.
Okay, anyone else want to say anything before we wrap this up? No? Well, I personally feel we've covered a lot of ground, and I also don't think there's a lot of sessions out there that are this packed with real alpha, looking at the problem of, from all these different perspectives. And I think that also too many people are mesmerized by what the big closed source tech people are doing with just general purpose AI. Basically mostly just to serve ads. And they're just totally missing the fact that very, very specialized data, very, very technical data is also subject to big value uplift using the same tools, which are now open source. So and anyone can get the tool and the content we'll see. And as Vasily and I have both pointed out, don't worry about the mechanics of the payments, and don't worry about proving that you're decentralized, and don't worry about proving that you need to make 6 payments for a transaction because you have content owners and model owners and everybody. Don't worry about any of that. Don't spend any time on it, because that's what Power Agent does.
I just want to say, check us out online, covalenthq.com.
Okay. Well, thanks everyone very much.
Thank you, Gordon.
Thank
Bye.
you, Gordon.
Thank you, fellas.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Bye.
Bye-bye.
Bye. Bye.